Try to show you guys the main defining.
Holy shit!
Stunning Rhamnophysis. Definitely the best snake we've. Alright, good morning everyone. It's that time of the month again, time for a big herp trip. This time we're going to northern Thailand, which is honestly one of my favorite places to herp in the country, and somewhere I haven't been in quite a while, so it'll be a really welcome change of scenery. I just left home a few minutes ago and I'm on my way to pick up Rupert and Anton. And there he is now, the cripple.
Do you own AirPods?
Nos. Yes, Nos. No.
You don't?
No.
Alright, 30 seconds.
Alright, God Boss number 1 is here. And there comes God Boss number 2.
What's he doing?
What the hell? We were just wondering why there's a traffic jam. Typical Thailand. There's a goddamn truck coming down the wrong way. Should I just refuse to move?
No. But, is he gonna go, like...
Excuse me, sir.
What?
Alright, many hours later, we're doing this drive to the north over 2 days, and we're nearing our destination for tonight. There's a big storm brewing on the left there, that huge cloud system, which might actually be good because we're stopping over in Nakhon Sawan, where we're going to try to do a little bit of herping tonight to hopefully get a Russell's Viper, but let's see. Alright, we've made it. Just checking into our hotel now. Gonna drop off all our stuff and then head straight back out to go herp. Alright, a few minutes later we are out and cruising. Cruising is going to be the main method of searching for the Russell's Vipers. Rupert is like having some sort of coughing attack in the background,
Bad timing.
if you're wondering what that is. We may do some walking in a bit though, but at first we're gonna put a solid effort into cruising. This might actually be good for us. If you look on the horizon there, you can keep seeing the flashing in the sky. There's actually like so much lightning. Maybe if I stick the phone out the window, you'll be able to see better. Yeah, huge heat storm just off in the distance there. I wonder if that's connected to rain. If it is, I feel like just before the storm, it might bring snake activity up a bit, but that's yet to be seen. All right, our first herp of the night. Not a snake.
Russell's Viper! Russell's Viper!
Nope, not a Russell's Viper. A snail-eating terrapin. Malay semis, what's the species?
Subchajuga.
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 Pretty one. We saw a roadkill one of these a couple of moments ago. First live one though. It's wet. Is there water nearby?
I guess there must be like in this area here.
Really cute little one. Pretty common, probably the most common species of turtle around most of Thailand. Anyway, we're just gonna move this little guy off the road. Alright, we just shuffled the turtle back into the ditch and Anton lifted that rock over there. And have a look what was under it. Our first snake of the trip. Gibbs. And it is Indo-Typhlops braminus, the Brahminy blind snake. A very common species throughout most of the world actually. Of course introduced in most places. Weird little snakes. These guys feed on termites and their larvae. I believe also their eggs. Cool little fact about these is that they are hermaphrodites, so they only need one individual to reproduce, and they're all both male and female. And they lay 2 very elongated eggs, which are actually very big considering how small the snake is.
More of these like stones here if you want to.
Really weird little snakes. Very difficult to film because they never stop moving.
Let me film that in your hand.
Right, a literal eternity later, Rupert is still coughing, and we got another snake, Anhydrus. This one, as you can see, it's looking very crusty, probably nearing shed and dehydrated. Pretty common species throughout most of Thailand's agricultural areas. And surprised this one's not on the biting meta. Usually the species is. But there's great variation between the species from different localities and possibly will be split at some point, or has room to be split into different ones. Nice ventrolateral striping there though. Alright, we do have one more snake. Not the species we're after, but quite nice one. Very popular among the, well, herpers that don't see them all the time. the sunbeam snake, Xenopeltis unicolor. Love those nice iridescent colors on them. And the other bosses are coming out the car to see it too. What a shame. I was really hoping this would be a Russell's Viper. But it isn't. It's also getting really late. We're probably going to call it. Alright. Be gone. Hey, just cruising on our way to our accommodation, we got our first snake of the trip, and Lord, is it a good one. Look at this stunning Rhabdophis helleri, which, believe it or not, is a lifer for me if this is helleri. So the thing with these is there's two in Thailand. They used to all be subminiatus, but then they got split. And this northern population got split to helleri, but we're not certain if in this area it is actually helleri or siamensis. So we'll definitely hold on to this one for a moment and do some better examination later. But based on what I can see, I'm pretty sure this is helleri. So in that case, a lifer for me. A pretty venomous colubrid, actually, which is also poisonous. But of course, they need to chew onto you for quite a while to get a lot of that venom into you. So not really a very dangerous snake, but this one has to be one of the most beautiful specimens I've ever seen. Look how it's like spreading a hood. Let me get a different background here so you can see it better. Wow, look at that snake. That is insane. Look at that color. That is absolutely crazy. Such a beautiful snake. Anyway, it's starting to rain. We should get out the road, but what a first find. All right, we've arrived on location, had dinner. It's just gotten dark. Organized myself a bike. Me and Anton are gonna head up the mountain for the first time. The others are still at the room, getting ready, but we're gonna head up there now and probably run into them later. All right, I've been cruising for literally ages without seeing a single snake. Anton got really bored, so I dropped him off and he's road walking somewhere. But I did just finally get a snake, and now while I was just talking to the camera, I've somehow lost it. What on earth? Ah, there it is. It's really small. Here is Pareus geminatus, a tiny little hatchling, the twin-spotted slug snake. Really, really cute little buggers. Sometimes these come in like really, really vibrant oranges, but this one is, yeah, about average. Not too bright. These are probably one of my favorite slug snakes though. For one, because they only occur in very certain areas of Thailand, and they're quite pretty actually, especially when they get really red. What a cute little dude. Probably going to see quite a lot more because they aren't very rare here, so I think I'm just going to move this guy off the road and continue cruising. Alright, literal million years later. The reason you haven't seen a lot of footage from tonight is because it's been absolutely skunking hard. The only live snake I've seen all night, and it's nearing midnight, was that juvenile slug snake, and I just came to fetch Anton from the roadside again. He's been doing road walking and he found a snake as well, albeit not a very interesting one. This is the oriental vine snake, Ahetula prasina. Nice little grayish yellow juvenile. You can just see some slight greens coming through on the side of the head there. Defensive little dude. You know, when things are skunking this hard, you start to appreciate even the small things, such as oriental vine snake, which is normally a snake we wouldn't even give the time of day. I'm beat. My ass hurts so insanely bad from doing like so many hours of non-stop cruising on the motorbike. Anyway, I think I am going to head back down the mountain and call it because snakes just aren't active today. Alright, day 2, just literally woke up. Like, I was about to come out my room and I heard Anton like calling me on repeat, so I answered. And look what he got just outside our rooms. Lovely adult Indo-Chinese rat snake, and it's actually doing something really weird I've never seen in this species before. Look how it's vibrating its tail. It's not uncommon for many snake species to do this defensively, but I've never ever seen a rat snake do it before. That is actually really, really strange. And he's pretty bitey too. Usually these guys will kind of stop biting after being held for a couple of moments, but this one is, yeah, definitely acting a little different than they typically do. Very common, probably definitely the most common rat snake across the country. Very common in like disturbed habitats, which is in line with the sort of hotel garden we've got here. Really nice little find and quite impressive catch, honestly, because these guys are super fast in the daytime, and I'm very surprised that Anton managed to get his hands on it. What an awesome snake. Anyway, we're about to go have breakfast and then head up the mountain. Alright guys, today has been severely skunked. You're probably wondering why there hasn't been any footage from the daytime. It just started this morning and now it's evening. But believe it or not, we had 3 different vehicles, me on the bike and the other 2 groups in the car, cruising pretty much the whole day. Not one single live snake. I don't understand it. Conditions seem absolutely perfect, and I have no rational explanation as to why there just seem to be no snakes around, but it's getting dark and I'm heading up the mountain again, so are the others. Hopefully our luck will start turning. Alright, we got ourselves a snake. It's already sort of getting away. Oh, here it is. You can see right in here a juvenile Guo's pit viper. I'm gonna oh wait, I can't see the head, so this is a bit sketchy. Anyway, these small ones are tricky to grab. I'm probably just gonna leave it in situ. Oh, there's the head. You can see a beautiful little juvenile male Guo's pit viper with those lovely red ruby eyes. Put my hand there so you can see the size. He's not very big. These guys are very snappy, so species I've seen many times before, so probably no need to catch it. I'm just gonna try and stir it up a bit so you can see there. There you go. Look at those stunning red eyes. It's basically exactly the same as the white-lipped pit viper. Very, very similar, and was for a long time considered to be the white-lipped pit viper until it got split off into its own species, Tremorosaurus guois, the Guo's pit viper. What a charming little snake. Off to a good start. I've only been cruising for about 30 minutes. Alright, solid 5 minutes later, I thought, surely, look, another juvenile Guo's, but no. This, if you have a look at the tail, look how banded the tail is, and compared to how striped the Guo's tail was. This is actually a tiny little juvenile Gumprecht's pit viper, Tremorosaurus gumprechti. And these guys are, yeah, sometimes bitey, but usually not as bad as the Guo's, but of course touching any snake's tail like that is a sure way to get them riled up. I want to move this little thing off the road before a car comes, but he's small and snappy. Let me go get a twig real quick. Oh, perfect. You guys often ask why I don't carry a hook, and this is why. There's always a twig within arm's reach. And I have a severe habit of losing hooks, and hooks are expensive. Every time I buy a hook, I have in the past, I tend to lose it within about a week. So I've just stopped buying hooks, because for most venomous snakes, you don't really need any equipment. I can just get away with gently taking them with my hand. And for small special cases like these guys, you can just use a twig. Which way were you going, sir? Having trouble remembering. I think it was going this way. Anyway, just gonna move the little dude off into some more appropriate habitat. We're off to a much better start than yesterday, although both snakes so far have been green beans, which I've seen an awful lot of in my life, so I would like something else, but at least we're finding stuff. Oh my lord, guys. The worst possible thing just happened. I just road cruised a dead Parafimbreos lao, the Laotian bearded snake, which is a turbo rare megalifer for me. A snake I've really, really been wanting to find. It's a really, really odd snake too. It has these like scales almost similar to a dragon snake. It really doesn't feel like a snake at all. It's a really, really bizarre, unique snake. Man, this is sad that he's killed. Look at that. Look at that iridescence on the belly. That is crazy. Ah, damn it, that sucks. It's always so annoying and frustrating when you find a species you've never seen alive before dead. But it's going to be really hard to find one of these because look how hard the snake is to see on the road. If I put it upright the way that it would be if it was crawling, And look when I take a step back. It literally like melts away into the road. So hard to see. Damn it. Holy shit, guys. After finding that little roadkill Parafimbreos, I was so upset from cruising, I just decided to do a little walking. And literally not 2 seconds after ending that Parafimbreos clip, look what I just found. Look up in the tree there. That, I am like, it's a bit far to tell, but I am like fairly certain that that is Gonyosoma ceruleum, the blue-eyed bamboo rat snake, which is one of our like big targets for the area. The only issue is it's pretty high up and not sure how I'm gonna get it down, because these guys, once you disturb them, they start to climb even higher. So I'm probably just gonna wait here because the others are cruising. I'm gonna wait for more people to help me keep eyes on it while we do some climbing. All right, all the bosses have arrived. Snake is still there, and I've procured myself a very long stick. Rupert's gonna take over filming here. And yeah, just keep light on it, and I think I should be able to just easily like fish it out now that I have the stick. What do you think, just like through and fling? Yeah. All right, get ready to like grab the moment it hits the ground, if it does.
Yeah, again.
Oh! Nice! Oh. Got him!
Grab it by the head. Grab it by the head. Fucking no.
Yep, these guys are biters. Our first, like, good snake that was, like, legitimately herped, not road cruised. That's a good snake. The blue-eyed bamboo racer or rat snake.
Does that look blue to you?
Not very, but a little. It's actually looking a bit better on video than to the eye.
You forgot about Porcina. It was also a hero.
Yeah, but you weren't listening what I said. I said good snake. All right, the god boss hopped on the bike with me after that ceruleum, and not long after, we've got ourselves another snake. Actually, a common species, but a new one for the trip. This is Paraeus macularius, the mountain slug snake. Actually a really common species here, and I'm honestly surprised that we hadn't seen one sooner. These guys will get really nicely defensive like that, but being a slug snake, they don't have the right dentition to even bite you. So they'll like strike and headbutt you, but they don't open their mouth. Really neat little guys. I love that like white collar, which sets them apart from the quite similar looking small white spotted slug snake, Paraeus margaritiforus. Beautiful. This isn't a very big one. These guys actually get pretty freaking big. Awesome. All right, snakes are finally starting to show up in good frequency. Here we have a adult male Trimerosaurus lana, the Lana's green pit viper. Love the males in the species, especially because they have that really nice red ventrolateral stripe, and of course the blood red eyes, which the guos in this area also have, but they also have this red stripe on the head and, yeah, along the side of the body. Not a very bitey species, and really, really nice texture to them. They like feel so much nicer in the hand than the than the guos do. Oh, it's getting a bit wriggly now. It's actually really cold up here, and I think that contributes to why a lot of these snakes are so like slow and dopey, because they're just cold, not very fast. Beautiful though. Just gonna let him cruise off the road and keep searching. Seems to be a good time. Oh my god, I just got so excited there for a second. I just saw a small asphalt colored snake with a light collar, and my mind immediately went to Parafimbreos. Ever since seeing that roadkill, that species has been heavily on my mind. But unfortunately, it is just a second juvenile mountain slug snake. These, from a distance, especially if you're like driving, they look so similar because they're the same like gray tone, and Parafimbreos also has a white collar. What a shame. Still a cute little snake though. Look at him flattening his head and trying to strike. Choo! But they don't open their mouth when they do that. Hello, buddy. You want to bite? I know your trick. I know you're not gonna bite. Cute though. don't come back. All right, ladies and gents, look at what we have here. A crate. Only kidding. This is actually the Chapa wolf snake, the species that I actually filmed that troll video of previously where I pretended to be bit by a crate, but it wasn't. This is a little subadult. You'll notice that he has the white collaring on the head, which, by the way, young crates also have, which they lose when they get older, same as these. So really a convincing mimic, and pretty much the only way to, like, for sure at a glance tell them apart is the lack of enlarged dorsal scales on these, which a crate would have. Normally these are quite bitey, but this one is actually very slow and dopey. It's actually insanely cold, so that could be why. Anyway, I haven't seen a lot in the past hour or so, and I'm getting really, really tired. So I'm probably gonna call it a night and get back at it tomorrow, but what a nice little last snake. Goodbye. All right, good morning everyone. Day 3 has taken a not so good turn. The weather on the mountain is not really good today, so I'm gonna probably focus on doing a bit of cruising in the lowlands to see if that turns up some more stuff. Been filming so little this trip, pretty much just like 3 or 4 clips per day, but it's because we just not have been finding a lot of stuff. Anyway, I can feel that's about to change soon. Alright guys, we are out and cruising, and in the lowlands here it is indeed a lot more snake friendly. It's quite warm, not as cold, cloudy, but every now and then the sun does poke through, so those are supposedly ideal conditions for finding diurnal stuff. So I'm gonna keep doing this for a while and see what shows up. Just got our first snake of the day. Woo! And it is Colognathus radiata, the copper-headed racer. Hang on, let me get off the road in case a car comes. These guys are incredibly defensive little colubrids. Sorry, my camera work isn't the best. Alright guys, sorry, just had to change my camera settings there for a second, but have a look at this, we got him. So nice to finally get a daytime snake that didn't get away, you know? Because during the day, it's always a bit of a struggle, because most of these diurnal snakes are pretty alert and fast, and when you see them on the road, you really have to be quick, and a lot of the time they actually end up escaping. This little guy is incredibly defensive, and after a while they will usually go into playing dead, but yeah, look at that. He is really not happy about being caught. What a sweet little snake though. These get pretty big. This is only a sub-adult, but very, very nice find. Always one of my favorites. Awesome, let's keep cruising. All right, grandiose. Just cruised another snake alive and a new one for the trip. You may be wondering why I'm holding it by the head, because this is not a venomous snake, but these guys are big biters. This is Fowlia piscator, the checkered keelback. And for some reason, the bites from these bleed so bad. They probably have some sort of anticoagulant in their saliva. So I actually really don't like getting bit by these, so I always try to grab them by the head. Quite common species, especially in these like slightly disturbed habitats. But nevertheless, a new one for the trip, so definitely a good find. Alright, we didn't get anything else in the daytime, and tonight we're going to try something different, or at least my group is. Not going to do so much cruising, but we're going to do a little walk up the waterfall. The others are just pulling in now. Hopefully that'll be more productive, because even though we've been finding some stuff, there has been way less than usual, so maybe walking is the better method this time. Here's something that doesn't happen very often. We got some sort of flying frog, and we don't really know what it is, which by default makes it something really rare. You can see he's got the nice little webbing, actually quite impressive webbing.
Yeah, huge actually.
Yeah. Very interesting looking frog with that like white labial line, and then also that white line on the side.
Yes, it's definitely Jangazalis, but I've not heard of any other species occurring in this area except the obvious ones.
Don't let it get away. And we have our first snake of the night, a lovely little subadult Tremorosaurus lana, the Lana's pit viper. Not very big, I'll put my hand there so you can see the size. Pretty small. A female by the looks of things? Well, possibly a young male. Actually, yeah, that's a young male, I think. Wait, no, female. Small ones can be kind of hard to tell apart sometimes, but that right there is a female. You can see the lack of the red ventrolateral stripe. This one though, common species, probably just going to leave it in situ and keep going. Alright, walking didn't really produce anything more either other than green vipers, so we're back on the road. Got ourselves another snake, repeat for the tour, just a Piraeus macularius. I love how defensive these little dudes will get and fake strike. Look at this. What a silly snake. Such goofy little dudes. Alright, we decided to give up on cruising and do some hiking because the fog had gone away, but the moment we came into the trail, nos goose. Anyway, we did just find this Piraeus geminatus, actually the first adult I've filmed this trip. Lovely, nice orange one, although I have seen better ones. At least some stuff is active, but it's been pretty slow even on this trail here. We saw another slugger a few minutes ago that I forgot to film. Same species. Anyway, just gonna keep searching along. This fog makes it super hard to see anything though. Alright, snake has been spawned.
Yeah, I know.
It's the common stinking snake. Just kidding. Taiaskoros, the Indo-Chinese rat snake, second one of the trip, although biggest one of the trip. The other one was a fair bit smaller. Sweet. Alright, another night. Had exceptionally bad luck during the day, in which I didn't even film a single thing, because we saw virtually nothing. So tonight I'm gonna do some road walking in the high elevations, just scanning the ditches and shining around on the road. And we have got ourselves our first snake, probably the biggest Piraeus macularius of the trip. And if I put my hand there, you can see this is a reasonably sized snake. He's quite chunky too. Very nice banding on him. Still retaining a lot of the white on the head as well. Often when they get big, that sort of starts to go away. This one's not doing the fake striking thing either. Guess the rain is good for these guys because it brings out all the snails which they feed on. Cute. Such goofy little faces on these guys. Alright, just cruised a huge male gumprecht pit viper, Tremorosaurus gumprechti. And you can see there, the difference on this one is quite well visible between this one and Tremorosaurus lana, because they're superficially extremely similar. Both have that red ventrolateral stripe and red eyes, but if you look at this one's eyes, you can see they're like slightly yellowish on the sides, not like that full blood red green color. And also, if you look at the tail, it is slightly less banded than the gumprechts, but very, very similar, and it is variable, so that's not always a sure way to tell them apart. But even though we've seen so many of these green vipers this trip, this is the first individual where I can actually confidently say that this is definitely a gumprecht pit viper, and he's pretty big. I'm wearing gloves because I'm freezing my nuts off up here on the mountain, but I wonder how snake handling will be with this. Whew, quick little dude. Do want to move him off the road. Oop. Come on. There we go. Got him. He is huge. Very flaily. Surprisingly fast considering how cold it is. Usually when it's this cold they're like really slow and dopey. Really nice specimen. He was going this way, so that's where he will be brought to live another day. Alright, while I was out cruising, have a look at what the other guys found here. This is a very welcome sight after the amount of getting skunked we've been getting the past few days. This is a Bophus monticola, the mountain pit viper, and pretty good size one, probably a female. I'll put my hand there so you can see. These are not a very large species, so even though this may look like a relatively small snake, this is actually a decent sized adult for the species, although in some cases, quite uncommonly, they can get a significant amount bigger. It's not really known exactly what their venom is like, but I think I've mentioned this before, that my presumption would be that they're actually not very toxic, because I think this is the only viper I've ever seen do this. These guys will actually constrict their prey sometimes. They'll like bite and latch on and then start coiling around it, which would imply that their venom might not be very powerful. Sometimes these are bitey, but usually they're not too bad, and she looks like she's on the rather calm side for the species. Let's see if I can just carefully pick her up there. What a beautiful snake. Such a weird genus. It's like a It's a pit viper, but they're so like slow moving and weird, I guess just adapted for these high elevation areas. But yeah, what a stunning snake. Really happy that we got this. It gets really depressing sometimes when you're just cruising and herping for so long without getting anything good. And even though this isn't really a showstopper, because they are reasonably common, it's definitely the best snake we've seen so far. And I'm very happy with this one. Really chill individual, actually. Usually they're a bit more snappy than she is, but yeah, have a look at that. Super cute. Anyway, just gonna get a couple photos and release her. Yeah, what a nice snake. Awesome. All right, good morning, people. It is about 8:30 a.m. Woken up super early this morning and driven out to a, well, currently random roadside. We're just waiting for the others to get here because I came out on the bike with Plankton. And we're gonna do a big hike to a cave today because so far we've been getting pretty skunked. We've seen a few things, but you know, nothing really great. So we're gonna try going to a cave. It's a bit of a hike, but hopefully that'll turn something up. All right, stream crossing time. The question is, will I make it without getting water in my boots or not? I'm guessing not. Come on, start throwing rocks at him or something. All right, terrain is getting steep, but we're almost at the cave. Get low when the whistle blows. All right, in we go. The entrance is really small, but it does open up a bit. Oh, it's slippery. Look at these like skid marks on the mud. All right, we've made it in. It's steamy, but actually pretty big. Just gonna thoroughly examine all of these walls. All right, we're back out the cave. Didn't find any snakes, but the moment we got outside the cave, have a look what's just waiting for us here. Is a male Lana's pit viper, Trimeresurus lana. Not easy to spot these in the daytime, but sure enough, here is one. See those lovely red eyes on it, if my camera would focus. There we go. Nice adult size. All right, this is one hell of a hike. Doesn't show on video, but it's so insanely steep. And where we started from today was the very top of that hill there. That's where the car is. And we walked all the way through there, cut down along there, followed the valley, came all the way up here. And this is where we have to go up. All right, we have arrived. It's just like a random hole in the forest here that leads into the cave. It's like an underground sort of cave that goes down, not like into the mountain. After that hike we just did, I'm gonna be seriously disappointed if there's no snake inside. Well, there's bats. That's at least a good sign for snakes. I've gone alone in here because it got too narrow. There was a hole back there we had to climb through. The others didn't want to, so I'm just gonna push in and see how far I can go. Right, we've made it back to the village. Just a few more minutes to go up to our bikes and car, but we are beat. We're literally wasted. Words cannot describe how blazing hot it is right now. Alright guys, have a look what was crossing the road just on the way back to the rooms. We came off the road because there was a lot of traffic, but here we have Naja fuxi, the brown banded mountain cobra, a very newly described species. And believe it or not, this is actually a lifer for me. It's very similar to the monocled cobra, but it was recently split off into its own species. And this one's actually giving us a little hood, which is quite uncommon for this species. I heard, because Rupert has seen them before, that these guys are usually, hang on, let me see if I can get his attention on me here, that these guys are usually not very prone to hooding, but this one is giving us a little hood, but as you can see, he would much rather get away. This comes in a variety of different colors. This one has that nice brownish anterior half of the body, but some individuals, especially from really high elevations, are like entirely black, and it's called the brown banded mountain cobra because unlike monocled cobras, as juveniles, these guys have very distinct light brown banding all along the body, which then fades as they age. That is freaking cool. Look at this. brown banded mountain cobra in the wild. Really docile. There we go. Have a look at that. Now you can come close from behind and see the really nice defense pattern on the hood, which is a little similar, but not quite a monocle like the monocled cobra. That is absolutely incredible. And I'm gonna see if I can try to show you guys the main defining feature, because obviously these guys look very similar to the monocled cobra, and both species are quite variable, so they can be hard to tell apart. But let me see if I can show you the one feature that is always different between these two species. If you come over here and look at the bottom of his head, look there. You see how these two big plated scales, and in between there, you can see that very tiny, like a pinhead of a scale, that roundish oval tiny scale. That is the only guaranteed way to tell them apart when in doubt. So crazy. I wonder who found that out. It's so random. Anyways, we are gonna let this boy or girl go and continue herping. Come on, you're free, buddy. You're free. Just following him down as he's making his way down the bank, and have a look at that. He's actually going into the stream and into the root system that's under there. I'm not gonna follow him because I don't want to get wet, but look at him go. Look at him go. Yeah, he's just crawling into that bush down there now. Anyway, what a snake. That is so good. It's always good when you get cobras, and it's not often that you do because they're pretty hard to target and you pretty much just have to get lucky. Just began driving up the mountain for the night. There's some dogs. Started off the evening with another radiata, this time a big one. This is the biggest one probably. Also the nicest one. Look at those beautiful oranges on him there. That's actually really good for a northern one, you know, because in northern Thailand they're usually quite drab and bland. But this one's got some really nice colors. Too bad he's missing the tip of his tail there, but overall still a really nice animal. It's got some people approaching here. I think they saw me catch it. What a nice snake though. Definitely gonna hold on to this one for a moment to show the others, but it's always good when you start cruising and immediately get something. Gets your hopes so high that you're gonna find more. Anyway, not gonna waste any time. Keep cruising. Holy shit, guys! I got it! A lifer Parafimbrios lau, the Laotian bearded snake. This is a really odd snake and very rare. I found a roadkill earlier this trip and I was super bummed about it, but holy crap! Look at this! My lifer Parafimbrios lau. These guys don't feel like any other snake. Their scale texture is super strange. It's very rough. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus there. I don't know how well you can tell, but it's like super beady. And they're just a really unusual snake. Very similar to the dragon snake in terms of scale texture and also the way they like move around and behave. Just like slowly, goofily crawling around. And this is, believe it or not, a huge individual. It's a very small species, so this is a large adult. Holy crap though. It's really hard for me to focus my camera because I'm wearing gloves and it's really hard to operate, but look at that. It's even got like iridescence there. Look there by my pinky finger. That is nuts. Holy crap. What a find, honestly. Look at him go. Anyway, seems to be really good for snakes today, so I'm just gonna hold on to him and quickly keep cruising. And the theme of finding snakes tonight continues with this tiny little juvenile Lycodon fasciatus, the banded wolf snake. Love the venters on these guys. Some of them can be quite orangey, like the one we found in Tak province, but this is the quite standard look for them. Super nice. Unlike most of the other wolf snakes, this species does not lose its bands when it grows and pretty much just looks the same when it's older. Super cute though. Awesome little find. All right, the snakes keep on rolling in. Here we have ourselves a beautiful large Boiga cyanea, the northern form. Actually the first one I've filmed this trip. The other group got one the other night, but somehow that was released and I forgot to take a video of it. But here we go, our very own one. Defensive as always, I see. This one's really pretty. Look how bright she is. Almost like yellow. Such a pretty snake. Absolutely love these guys, and especially how the northern population here have the black eyes, which I have mentioned in the last time I filmed here. Super pretty though. Wow. What a nice snake. Absolutely love these guys. Anyway, just gonna help her across the road and release her. There you go, ma'am. Alright, I was just cruising along, and not even on the road, but out the corner of my eye, I just spotted a little snake shape on the concrete barrier on the side here. And sure enough, it is a snake, and it is a lovely creamy colored Lycodon fasciatus, the banded wolf snake. And of course he just managed to bite me right in the part where the glove wasn't covering. These are incredibly bitey little dudes, of course being a wolf snake, non-venomous, but they do have quite large teeth, so it does pinch a little, more so than several other species of wolf snake do. It's actually quite handy that I've got these gloves. Super nice though. It's a species that I really never saw too often, and on the last only like 2 trips or so, I started seeing insanely many of them, but prior to that, I went for like 10 years without seeing a single one. Really weird. Me and Rupert have this theory that most species go through what we call like a 5 or 10 year cycle, where the population will grow and then there will be too much competition and the population will die off again, and then when there's less there will be an excess of food and the population will start to grow again, so certain species become more common and then way less common on like roughly a 5 to 10 year cycle. Don't know if there's any truth to that, but we've noticed this for so many species, you know, that you get like 5-year periods where they're just everywhere, and then you go for like 5 more years after that without seeing a single one. Could just be a random coincidence, but I'm not sure. Really neat about this wolf snake, which most wolf snakes don't have actually, is that the banding continues on the ventrals. Most wolf snakes have a pale venter. Anyway, just gonna let this thing go. Keep cruising. And another snake. It is a male Trimerosaurus gumprechta, I think. Anyway, I'm sad to say, even though snakes are active, this will probably be my last snake for the night, because ever since doing that big cave hike today in the blazing sun, I think I didn't drink enough, or I'm not sure what, but I've developed a massive migraine, and it's now getting to the point where I can't really herp anymore effectively. So I'm just gonna move this little dude off the road. Come on, scram. Be gone. This is really annoying. Come on. Let me get you. Let me use my shoe here to block him. There we go. Alright, maybe I'll get something on the way home, but I have to throw the towel in. My head is absolutely throbbing.
What are you doing now? What are you doing now?